Hello. Today we're going to start volume, and we're going to calculate volume of just prisms because prisms have a specific formula, and then pyramids will have another formula, which you will see tomorrow. So first, let's just talk about converting units of area and volume. So I think we talked about this at the beginning of the year. And I might have said, okay, we know there's 3 feet in a yard, but how many square feet are in a square yard? So a square yard literally means a square that measures 1 yard by 1 yard. In other words, it measures 3 feet by 3 feet. Just like that. So each of these is a foot, so it forms a foot by foot square. There's a total of 9. Because what you do is you square, since there's 3 feet in a yard, then there's going to be 9, or 3 squared, 9 square feet in a square yard. And then, yes, when you cube it, so then a cubic yard will kind of look like this. Okay, so they're cubes, 1 yard by 1 yard, like big bricks. Big blocks that you stack up, and then 3 times 3 times 3, 27 cubic feet in a cubic yard. So you square the conversion for area, cube it for volume. So if we have 3,000 feet, then we know that there's 3 feet in 1 yard, 1,000 yards. Now part B, 3,000 square feet. Okay, well, we just said there's 9 square feet in a square yard. So then we're going to take 3,000 divided by 9, 333.3 repeating square feet. And then for cubic feet, 27 cubic feet in a cubic yard. And that gives you 111.1 repeating. Whoops. This was square yards, and this is cubic yards. All right? Now let's move into prisms. Remember, a prism is a solid figure that has 2 congruent bases, and then all the lateral faces are parallelograms, usually rectangles, but we'll see in the case of an oblique prism that it could be parallelograms. So let's read this together. The volume of each right rectangular prism below in cubic centimeters. That is, how many 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter cubes will fit into each solid. Okay. So here, the first row is 2 by 4, right? So the first row there has 8 cubic centimeters, and then there's 3 rows of them. So 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, here we have 3 times 12 in the bottom. That's 36. And then we'll times 8 because there's 8 rows. And that is 288 centimeters cubed. And then the last one, 10 by 30, is 300 times 10 is 3,000. So if B is the area of the base of a right rectangular prism and H is the height of the solid, then the formula for the volume is V equals capital B, area of the base, times capital H, the height. So here the height was 10. And then the area of the base was 300. Okay. So in chapter 8, you discovered that you can reshape parallelograms, triangles, trapezoids, and circles into rectangles to find their area. Remember we did that first week of school? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. You can use the same method to find the area of the base that have these shapes, and then count the number of layers of cubes. Okay? So what does that mean? That means you could still find the area of the base times the height, V equals BH. So this is what we're going to call the formula. This goes in your vocab, formula for volume of a prism. V equals BH. Now that capital B transforms into the area formula for the base. So it's important that you know all the area formulas. So this turns into the area of the base. So if it's a triangle, so triangular prism would be V equals 1/2 little b little h times capital H. So the half little b little h is the capital B. A trapezoidal prism, V equals 1/2 H, B1 plus B2. So there's the area of the base times capital H. That's the height of the prism. Okay. And then a cylinder, I should write that here. A cylinder is a circular prism. So then the formula would be pi r squared H, because pi r squared is the base area. H is the height of the prism. Now, what about the volume of an oblique prism or cylinder? So an oblique looks like this. So let's say you have the sheets of paper stacked up and then you have them come out slanted. The height stays the same. The area of the base stays the same. The volume stays the same. Same thing here with like coins or discs. They have the same volume because it's the same material, same area of the base, same height. So therefore, it's still BH. But the height, remember, is perpendicular to the base. Okay? So let's do a couple examples together. Find the volume of each figure. Round your answers to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so it's a prism. So we start with the basic prism formula. Now it's a trapezoidal base. So the B turns into 1/2 H, B1 plus B2. So that's B and then times capital H. Let's fill in what we know. Little h is that's a 5.2, by the way, 5.2. Base 1 plus base 2 is 5 plus 11. And capital H is the distance between the bases, 14 yards. They're all the same units, so that's good. Okay, 0.5, just put it in your calculator. And that is 582.4 cubic yards. Number 2 is a triangular prism. You start with the basic prism formula for volume. Convert B into 1/2 little b little h. And then you have capital H. Little b. Okay, so this is a right triangle, so the base and the height are the legs. 16, 12, and then big H is 6, and then the 20, nobody cares about. Not needed. Now, since you know Pythagorean theorem and you know trig, you might have a problem where you have to incorporate those ideas to get the measurements that you need to use the formulas. 576 cubic yards. Okay, here we go. You can pause here and attempt these and then hit play to check. All right, this is a regular hexagonal prism. So V equals BH, but the B is 1/2 SAN and then capital H. Now, this is an example of a problem. I didn't have to give you the apothem. You could have calculated that because you know a regular hexagon is made up of 6 equilateral triangles, and then half of equilateral triangles are 30, 60, 90 special right triangles. So I could actually give you one of these without the apothem, but I gave you the apothem here. So 1/2 S is 11. A is 17.3. The number of sides is 6. Capital H. Oh, 20 is S. Sorry about that. The 20 is supposed to be the S. The 11 is the H. 11 is H. So then, put it in your calculator. (11,418 cubic kilometers. And then this last one here is a cylinder. So V equals BH. Base is a circle, pi r squared times h. Pi, radius is 7. Squared, height is 12. We'll use the pi button as always. Pi 7 squared times 12. 1847.26 cubic centimeters. There you go. And then you will do your assignment on Go Formative. Have a good day. Bye-bye.